will you do if you find out that there are a lot of people that don't like you? What if you find out that there are a lot of people that like you? More than likely, there's going to be a mixture of both. But too many people focus on the people who don't like them. So in this video, we're going to talk about what we can do to protect ourselves when we realize that people don't like us. Life is not a popularity contest. If you spend your life trying to have people like you, then you have a losing proposition because you'll be using them as your compass for how you want to live life, but you won't know who you are. If you are a person that has found yourself on the outs with people a lot or feeling that people don't approve of you, you're in good company. Let me ask you a question. Why is it so important to you to have people like you? Just think about that for a minute. What do you gain when people like you? What do you gain when people don't like you? The truth is that we are here alone. We have me, myself, and I. Now, how we interact with our family members or with people in our community, we are pack animals, just like dogs. Dogs want to be in a pack. They don't want to be alone. That's why you can get a pet and then they bond with you and you're their whole world. And we are similar, but we have thinking faculties and personalities and goals and things that people may not like. How many of you are in a career because you tried to approve? How many of you are in a career because you wanted your parents to approve of you? How many of you are in a marriage because this is what's expected to you to marry this particular person? How much of your life is dictated by what you think other people believe you should be doing? Your political beliefs, your religious beliefs, how you dress, where you live. All of these things are dictated by other people. And so that many times we get to come up in age and we said, where am I? Who am I? I'm living someone else's life. I'm living my life to please other people. I've lost myself in the process. I've often heard people say, Pamela, I don't even know who I am. So let me just ask you right now, who are you? What do you stand for? What do you like? Get a sheet of paper and write those things out. Write them down. Take a minute. Who am I? What do I stand for? What do I believe? If I had a choice, would I be living my life like I'm living it right now? If your answer is no to that, then you want to take stock because this life is all you've got. So if you are going to live your life to please other people or to please society or to please your family, and I'm not saying that you want to be a rebel, but you want to be your own person. You want to find happiness in your own heart. Where did you lose yourself along the road? I remember years ago, I was the only girl and I had 3 younger brothers and I had moved away from my family in California. And I always had this feeling that my father didn't love me. And I ended up coming from California to visit my dad. And you know what I found all throughout the house? You know what I found all throughout the house was pictures of me. And I was just surprised. Oh, I guess he does love me. But there was one thing about my personality that my dad didn't like. And he did not like that I was, I guess, basically what you'd call an alpha. I was outspoken. I had opinions. I had goals. I had thoughts that were important to me. I had beliefs that were important to me. And because of these things, my father did not like me. And that's okay. You say, how could your father love you and not like you? That's a lot in families. I think if you look at your families, a lot of times we're in families and maybe our family doesn't like us, but they love us because of the principle of love. And that's enough. But once I realized that there was nothing I could do that my dad, for whatever reason, because in his mind, female should be pregnant and in the kitchen and shouldn't have an opinion and should be very submissive. And that was not my personality. And that was okay. And so I didn't have to be someone else. I mean, I didn't have to be blatant about who I was when I was around my dad, but I had to know who I was and not become small. So I'm going to just leave it with this thought for this time is when you're around people, how do you feel around them? That is the telling story. If you're with someone and you feel big, then you're with your people. There's a saying that big people make people feel big around them. And what do you think about small people? What do you think small people want to do? Small people want you to feel small. They will make remarks, they will shun you, they will criticize you, or they will do anything they can to make you feel small. Not because of anything that you've done, but they feel threatened. It's not in their demeanor, it's not in their DNA to empower people. What about you? Which category are you in? Are you a big person who makes people feel big around you? Or are you one of those people that people just feel small around you? So I think that start with you. And then if you have people around you, because I remember in my life that there was a time when all the people around me, and I chose it. It wasn't them. I chose people that wanted me to feel small. And I think it was because around my family, I never felt like they wanted me to soar or to be myself. And, subconsciously, and I talk about this all the time, I gravitated towards people who would in some way belittle me, even if it was in small ways, because that was what I was familiar with. But once I came into my own, I realized that I could not be happy. I could not be who I was, not being who I am. And I just gravitated away from those people. And that is one thing that I want to say, I'm going to close, is with your children. What kind of parent are you being? Are you being a big person to want your children to be big? Are you empowering them? Even though they might not be doing things the way you may necessarily want it to be done, but you love your children unconditionally. And it's not that we don't guide them. It's not that we don't, have talks with them, but they're adult and they're going to make their choices. And they're going to make their choices whether you approve or not. And if they realize you won't approve, they'll do it over here so you don't know what's going on. Or you can just empower them to be the best that they can be. In my family, we all have different paths, but we're all equally striving to be big out in the world. And I love that. None of us ever tries to make the other person feel small or belittle them, because that was the family that I came from, and I was going to make sure that my kids weren't going to come from that family. So you, today, take a look inside and say, am I being the person that I want to be? Am I being who I am, or do I not even know who I am? And then when you take stock, then get some help or talk to some friends or family or someone you trust and say, how can I break out of the shell and start really being who I am and who I want to be? Subscribe below, and I hope to see you soon.